Superman 4, The Quest for Who Gives a Crap. Yep, I'm not calling the original title because it does not deserve to be called what it's originally called. It was a pain in the butt watching this movie. I could not get through this movie at all. I'm not going to get through the plot of this film because this movie plot is ridiculous. I'm going to put it out right here. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. The Quest for Peace. Oh my god. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not only just for comic book movies in general. This movie is a total disaster. Canon, they don't know how to freaking make movies. Why, Canon? Why would you make this piece of crap? Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, the plot of the movie is ridiculous. The villain, Nuclear Man, is one of the most laughable villains I've ever seen in a movie. I mean, for goodness sake, he has like long silver nails. Like, what the? Who wrote this? Oh my god. The only saving grace for this movie, which is not really saying much, is Christopher Reeve as Superman. That is it. Even some of the scenes that he's in are pretty bad. Like the scene when Nuclear Man is destroying the city. He's all like, "Stop! Don't do it to people!" I'm like, that line was so bad. Stop! Don't do it to people! Stop! Don't do it to people! This movie was painful to watch. And this movie is the shortest out of all the 4 Christopher Reeve Superman films. And I'm like, this is the shortest? This movie is an hour and 30 minutes. The other Superman film was like 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes. Even Superman 3 was like 2 hours. This movie somehow felt longer than those films. And I'm like, what is wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that picture? This movie is the shortest, but it feels the longest. We get... Okay, I mean, this movie would have been okay if I've heard they like deleted like 40 minutes of this movie. And this movie did feel choppy in some scenes. I'm not gonna lie. This movie did feel choppy. And why did they delete the scenes out and they left all the stupid scenes in? Canon, explain that to me. And I can't believe this is the last film we get to see Christopher Reeve as Superman. I wish they made another Superman film in the 90s before he had that accident and of course later on passed away. Rest in peace, Christopher Reeve. You are still Superman. You will always be Superman. But instead, your last role as the iconic comic book character was just crappy. And we get a young John Cryer in this movie. From 2.5 Men. With a stupid dyed hair or something. This movie was bad. This was bad. The effects were bad. I know this movie came out in 1987, but this movie, the effects were terrible. Especially the scenes where you see Superman flying and they use the same exact shot. That's how lazy they are that's exactly how lazy they are with this movie. This movie was cheaply made. Speaking of cheap, the opening crawl in this movie is better than the crawl in Superman 3. But it's not saying much at all. It looks cheap, and it looks like the dollar store version of the opening crawl from the first 2 movies and Superman Returns. And say what you want about that movie. Say what you want about Superman Returns, but at least that movie had a better story than these last 2 Christopher Reeve movies. I mean, the fight scenes in this movie, especially the scene with Superman and Nuclear Man, were just god awful. They didn't look like they were fighting. They looked like they were freaking dancing on the moon. Oh my god, at least the final fight scene with Superman and evil Superman in Superman 3, the junkyard fight scene. At least that was the only good fight scene in that movie. But it was no good action scene in this movie. This movie was just boring. And this is the shortest. How can this movie be the shortest and it's boring? I don't get it. And people say Man of Steel is the worst Superman movie. I'm not the biggest fan of Man of Steel, but watch this. If for those haters of that movie, watch this movie again, please. This movie was so freaking painful to watch, and this movie, it's like I said, it's very, very choppy. This movie was badly edited. They were very cheap on this movie. The script is ridiculous. This movie fails on so many levels, and really, I mean, after Superman 3, you would think they would make their mistakes on this movie. They did it far worse, and it's really embarrassing. Yes. And I don't know what else to say, honestly. Watch this movie. Actually, I could have even finished this whole movie. I didn't even care. I was only like at 50 minutes of this movie. Like, no, I just can't. I just turned it off. I could have watched the rest of this movie. Superman 4: The Quest for Who Gets a Flying Donkey gotta be one of the worst comic book films I've ever seen, and one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The plot is ridiculous. The script is also ridiculous. The effects are cheap. This whole movie was just a mess. Really. And even though I'm glad to see Gene Hackman back as Lex Luthor, but he didn't need to be in this movie at all. He did not. He really did not. This is the only film where, even though he wasn't in Superman 3, which they could have put him in that movie instead of having Webster or whatever his name was, and leave him out of this movie, just have, not even Nuclear Man, who can I think? They could have Bizarro, or even Brainiac. Have Brainiac as the villain in any of the... I wish we get a Superman movie where Brainiac is the villain. And I wish there's a Christopher Reeve Superman movie in the early 90s where Doomsday is the main villain. That'll be so awesome. And in the Nicolas Cage Superman movie that never even got made was more finished and more complete than this movie. And they didn't even film that movie. Superman 4: The Quest for Who Gives a Crap, most definitely, absolutely, and of course, just enough. And by the way, Nuclear Man in this movie makes Venom from Spider-Man 3 look like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Just had to put that out there. But anyways, guys, let me hear all your hate for Superman 4: The Quest for Who Gives a Donkey crap in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're new to my channel, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.